Looks like audio should be good. Okay, just double checking a couple more things. And perfect, I believe we're online. Sorry if I have to keep it a little down, a little low, the volume at least. Let me turn this music a little bit more quiet on my headphones. Just double checking audio a few more times, make sure that that's all good. Okay, I just needed to bump that up a little bit. Alright, well, good morning. Sorry I have to talk a little quietly. It's like 2 a.m. here right now, but I wanted to stay up and just catch the first episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the new show starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. It's the next part of the MCU and part of these television series that they're doing now. I know we just finished up with WandaVision about 2 weeks ago, and overall I liked it a lot. I thought it started out pretty strong. I really enjoyed all the homages to classic television, and I thought the writing and the story definitely started teetering back downwards towards the end of the show. But yeah, and just I don't know. I have some issues with it, but overall I thought it was a pretty good, entertaining time, and I thought that it was really nice in the way that they kind of built up Wanda and Vision's character as well as their romance, which wasn't explored as much during the other MCU movies, such as Age of Ultron, Civil War, and then Infinity War. You didn't have as much time since you had so many heroes to cover. It was nice that the show kind of really expanded that relationship, and that was definitely like the best part of the show, I'd say. But I'm happy that they're doing that again, and they're doing that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because both characters are kind of the same thing, and I like that Disney is doing this. I like that they're trying to kind of expand and build up on these characters that weren't really given their own movies, and they were more side supporting roles, and giving them kind of a place to expand their characters. Because I think the Winter Soldier and the Falcon are I know that they're incredibly important to the comics, but it's nice that they're getting like their own character development per se, their own stories, and really fleshing them out. I'm happy that they're doing that, since just like with WandaVision, given the amount of characters that have been in the other MCU movies, such as Infinity War, there's just not enough time to sit down and really build up on the characters. I mean, Bucky was only given the Winter Soldier for Captain America back in 2014, and so it's nice that they're trying to kind of develop him too more so with this, which I think was probably the best aspect of this first episode already. I guess I'll start off with the beginning of it. It kind of opens up with a big old action set piece. It kind of reminded me of Dark Knight Rises. There's that long opening cut with Bane trying to steal, I don't know who he was, some executive or something. And there's that whole like plane heist. And they kind of have a similar thing, except for it's a little bit more. It's kind of funny, they're both absurd, but I feel like this one was just a little bit more absurd in the fact that like they're jumping out with these squirrel suits and like landing into helicopters and everything. I know it's the MCU, so you're gonna have a whole bunch of this type of stuff, and of course it's not gonna be like on par with actual physics and anything like that. But it was a little bit over the top, but it was a fun good start with the show. Falcon was trying to save some guy. But I think the biggest highlight for me, at least with the first episode, was I liked that I liked all the character moments between the Falcon and spending time with his family, and having to try to reconcile like their family business, and trying to get a loan for her sister so they wouldn't have to sell their family boat. And then with the Winter Soldier, he's hanging out with, I assume, is like an old friend from long in the 40s or 50s, back during World War II. I imagine that he's like a friend from back then, who's of course is very old now, and they have just a good dialogue, and he tries to get them all hooked up with a date, which I thought was cute and cool. And my favorite part of it was that, you start getting into just how wounded the Winter Soldier is, like Bucky, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, he was trained as an assassin, was essentially a robot for 90 years or something along those lines, and now he's suddenly kind of given autonomy and given the choice to choose what he wants to do with his life. And I don't know how you do that, and of course he's tormented by the demons of having to assassinate people. And I really enjoyed there's the scene with where he's talking with a therapist, and I loved all the cutting and the camera footage, like there's like some Dutch angel shots, close-up shots facing both characters' eyes, and it's like slanted. And I thought that was a cool way in just kind of giving, just like the cinematography, just showing how broken he was inside, essentially, as he was trying to discuss his past. And I thought that was just a really interesting part of the episode. And I thought that for both of the characters, I like that they kept it interpersonal, and I'm liking that direction with these new shows, because I don't know about you guys, but I find myself just getting kind of sick of all these constant action set pieces that we've been seeing for over a decade with these Marvel films. I don't know, like it's fun to sit and enjoy the action scenes, but I mean anymore it's the dialogue and it's these character development moments that intrigue me more than anything in both WandaVision and this new show. And in any case, I like that they're trying to, that this format has kind of opened the door to these more personal conflicts, with Bucky having to deal with his own past and having to adjust to, from 1940s being a robot to essentially regaining his autonomy in the modern day. And I don't even know how you would deal with that. It just sounds like such a fucking mess. So I like that they're doing that. And then same with the Falcon, is he's trying to, he doesn't want to take the mantle as the new Captain America, and so he's putting that off into some museum. But then these guys at the end decide to hire an actor to be essentially this new spokesman. And so it seems like, of course, from the end of Endgame, and then from the lead up of this show, that the Falcon's going to take the role as the new Captain America. And I'm not very familiar with the comics. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the Winter Soldier takes up the mantle. I thought I've heard that maybe the Falcon also does the same in one of the timelines or something. I'm not incredibly familiar with it. So I don't know exactly who will take the mantle. I assume it seems like it's leading up to Falcon, and that would make the most sense. But I don't know. Maybe they'll give it to Bucky as well. But I don't know. And then it seems like we have a new threat. I believe it's Baron Zemo, who was the baddie in Civil War, as well as he's a famous antagonist in the MCU or in the comics. And I believe he's coming back as some new terrorist organization or some baddies that is going to start fucking up with shit. But I'm interested in seeing the way that they keep developing this world. I like that they're focusing it primarily on the effects. WandaVision did this a little bit too, but they're dealing with the effects of the blip, which is I think is a really good choice when it comes to writing. I mean, you have half of the world population completely disappear for 5 years, chaos ensues and whatnot, and then they just all come back. Like, I thought it was interesting exploring kind of even something as boring as loans, SBA loans, but I thought it was fascinating. It's like, yeah, you haven't had any income in 5 years. Like, yeah, we can't help you out. And I get like that sucks, but I kind of understand that to an extent when you have just you have billions of people come back just suddenly out of nowhere. And I mean, the way that would just completely rattle the economy as well as nations and borders, it makes perfect sense that the world is in complete turmoil right now. And I like that they're exploring that. I think that's a really interesting place to take the story. And I mean, yeah, I'm more fascinated by these world building questions. Like that was something that I was, I think, actually probably my favorite part of Endgame when that came out was like the first half of the movie, or at least maybe the first quarter, when they you were following like Ant-Man and Captain America, and they were just dealing with this world without half the world. And I mean, I just thought that was fascinating, and yet, you know, and knowing that, you know, certain parts of like the environment kind of, you know, had gotten better since the snap. And I just thought that it was all interesting. You know, just led to a slightly more nuanced view of the situation, as well as just fascinating character moments of, you know, having to deal with such a catastrophe. So I'm interested that at least with these stories that they're gonna try to flesh that out, and especially with the blip and the way that you know has kind of racked the world, and the way that the characters are gonna have to try to kind of build some cohesion in creating a new Captain America, or, you know, a new spokesman for the Avengers. So I'm interested in what they'll do with this whole entire series. It sounds, I believe it's going to be like WandaVision, where it's just kind of a one and done. I don't think it's like going to be season after season. I think it's just like one series, which is probably a good idea. And I'm sure when it comes to budgeting, that's probably the most cost effective. But I'm happy that Disney Plus is at least finally, you know, releasing some steady content with WandaVision, with this pretty much right after. And then I know they're doing some Star Wars stuff as well, and they're planning a whole bunch, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this is probably a good direction for them. I mean, even personally, I'm a little sick of the MCU, but, you know, I thought I was kind of done with it all after Endgame, but my sister convinced me to watch WandaVision, and I was pretty intrigued, especially with the first 3 episodes. And so then I just decided, you know, maybe I'll give these things a shot as they're coming out. And yeah, not too bad with episode 1. I thought it was pretty interesting. Just trying to think of anything else when it comes to it. I think that's probably my thoughts just right off the bat from the first episode. Thought it was pretty decent overall. Interested to see where it goes. Yeah, I hope it just stays kind of personal. You know, I hope it doesn't just kind of devolve into, you know, just a giant CGI battle at the end and set piece. I hope they keep it kind of interpersonal, and, you know, keep it with the Winter Soldier having to deal with his past and come back to this new reality, as well as the Falcon or the Winter Soldier taking the mantle of Captain America. And I think that'll be an interesting place to take this story. But yeah, so that's been episode 1, the New World Order. I'll probably try to do maybe another one of these for episode 2. If not, just wanted to kind of give that out, throw that out, just more so see what it does with the algorithm, which I highly doubt there'll be too many views, because it's really hard to try to get something started with this thing, and I'm still learning. So I'll probably try to get myself actually write out a good concrete script, especially with all my thoughts, so it's not just spitballing, because that's just kind of a little bit messy, no doubt about it. But if you did happen to stumble upon this channel, thank you for checking out, even if it's just a view. Not asking for subscriptions or any likes for this incredibly small channel, but, you know, thank you for just even clicking on it. That's nice for me. But yeah, thank you. If you want, even just drop down in the comments or in the chat and tell me what you think. I'm trying to get this thing started, so, you know, hopefully I get to a point that I could just we sit and discuss and talk about it, you know, something like a Discord or something. I don't know, I'm trying to get something started, but in any case, that was episode 1, A New World Order, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Alright, you guys have a nice one. Peace, peace.